And she's there on the phone. So they bang on the
She
door.
is on the phone with
Sheriff's
her.
Department's not banging on the door. She opens the door immediately. I'm on the phone with my attorney. And I love the police officer says, "That's great. Step outside." Well, I'm on and he just grabs her, pulls her outside.
Get out.
And they start going through the house.
Here's a question for you. Is marriage overrated?
Why aren't people getting married anymore?
A new Pew Research poll found that 2 in 5 young adults think marriage is an outdated tradition.
Marriage rates are at their lowest right now.
Is marriage really even worth it?
More than half of marriages end in divorce.
If you get married, you have to be stuck with this person for the rest of your life, right? That's why you get married. So that's why it's declining. Why would you get married if you want to have just one partner when you can have multiple?
Marriage is stupid.
Welcome to the Married AF podcast, the self-proclaimed greatest marriage and relationship podcast in the world. We're your hosts, Matthew and Monica Powers, episode 110. Coming off of a episode where we dug deep into the idea of family vlogging, the nature behind it, and we go from the story of Micah Stauffer, maybe I got it right this time,
Yes.
into next level craziness as far as a family vlogger and what it went to. You want to kind of tell them about where this is headed?
Well, at the end of the last episode, we kind of touched on several types of the vloggers that, I don't know if all of them were vloggers, but they were all some type of LDS. And that's Latter-day Saints, which is the Mormon church.
And that's been a pattern that's been noticed with.
That's what's caught me on all of the names that I listed as the last one. That was their common denominator.
And let's just preface this. I know documentaries are created for a reason. Something wild has happened, and they're meant to be drama-filled and to draw you in and be intriguing and something outlandish. This, of course, covers probably just a small percentage of the actual people who are in the LDS church, just like it would be a Christian documentary, which there are plenty of those, and you see levels of crazy. So this doesn't cover everybody, but the things that have been noticed are there's a lot of commonalities, and just some of the ways they believe have led people to think that they're doing the right thing.
You know, there's bad apples in anything, and Christians have bad raps because, you know, somebody's touched somebody in the wrong area or a pastor cheated on his wife. We are all human, and we're not perfect. But if you're LDS, there are major rules that you have to follow. And this one stuck out to me because it seemed that rules were being followed, but for some reason, the women are the ones who are the problem in this episode anyways. Well, Ruby Franke and Jodi Hildebrandt. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of these names, but there's 3 documentaries that I know of. 4. I haven't watched the fourth one.
And there's like a not made for TV movie, but a mockumentary.
Yes, there's
also.
that now.
Yes.
I'm dying to see that because it's insane how that Ruby Franke started out as a sweet, innocent family vlogger. And again, with her vlogs for YouTube, they started out with, it's the family, and this is awesome, you know, kind of sweet and innocent.
Totally just sweet, innocent. I'm just going to share our family kind of the same way with Michael Stauffer did. Just, I'm going to share this. Maybe this helps somebody. Maybe this makes someone smile. Maybe someone can relate to realize they're not the only ones who go through stuff, and that's where it began.
But that
and
is
boy,
not
did it take a turn.
Where it ended.
No, not at all. So, you know, today we're going to kind of talk about some of the difference you see between Christianity and Mormonism. There's some similarities there, but there's some drastic differences whenever it comes to that. And it's not to to throw anything or anyone under the bus, but just to kind of bring awareness.
Yes.
And to make sure we go back to reflect what the Word of God truly is and truly says.
Yes, because if you're being told something and you believe it, if those words that you're believing are harming anyone, that is not okay.
No.
We are going to talk about child abuse on this episode. So just be cautious when you are listening, I guess.
Yes, and not that we're getting into all the nitty gritty,
No.
but again, just to kind of bring awareness to it, that because I think initially as we go through this, both Ruby Franke and Jodi Hildebrandt and all of those who were impacted here, I think initially they thought that they were doing good. And I think that's where the heart was to start.
Except Jodi Hildebrandt. I don't think she ever meant to
I
do
even
good.
think in the very beginning, and I'll kind of touch on that a little bit, I don't think that her intentions to start where she started, which we don't know a whole lot about, were from such an awful place. And I'll kind of explain why as we get into that. But the biggest thing is we want to be able to speak truth.
Yes.
And the Bible talks about speaking truth in love.
In love.
In love. And the thing is, truth is love. Whenever we don't tell people the truth and aren't honest with people, how much do you really love them if you're not just being completely truthful with it? The truth, as you said time and time again, sometimes the truth hurts.
It does.
And if it does hurt, it means we needed to hear it. And we're going to kind of be
Absolutely.
upset about it to start with, but you'll realize, yeah, you know what? I actually did need that.
It's not necessarily to hurt you. It should humble you.
It
It's a
should.
better term for, I guess, sensitive.
Initially, it's going to hurt because we get our feelings hurt.
Right.
But essentially,
When you realize, oh, that was true.
it's going to be
Dadgum.
crap, they were right about that.
That's
Man,
that's not what I wanted to hear.
that doesn't make me feel good, but geez, they were right. So we'll kind of talk through some of that stuff and just the main difference that you kind of see between Christianity and Mormonism that we've seen with Ruby Franke, Jodi Hildebrandt, and some of these other cases and documentaries that we've watched is, Christianity is following Jesus. It's the Trinity. It's 3 in 1, God, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, 3 in 1, which doesn't make a ton of sense to a lot of people, and that's not what we're diving into today to be able to explain that. But then Mormonism believes that they are 3 separate beings.
Yes. I was going to say, I
And-
have my notes.
Yes.
I have notes comparing the differences between Christianity and Mormonism. And
ultimately, there are a lot of similarities. I mean,
There are.
both
I mean, it
talk
was
about Jesus.
essentially based off of the Bible.
It is. And they
Just somebody.
Well, they talk about Jesus, and family values are important, and living the way that Jesus would want us to live. A lot of that's there, but the idea of salvation and what that looks like is a little bit different.
Oh,
Mormonism
absolutely.
is more based on obedience and the temple and order, rather than grace through faith, which is what Christianity is.
It's the whole New Testament.
It's
For the Bible.
the whole. I mean, that's
Now,
Jesus
if-
says.
One of my favorite plays. We're very, very big on musicals and plays, and one of my favorite all-time plays, Book of Mormon.
It's hysterical.
I've never laughed so hard in my life.
It is.
Every single time. And I know what's about to happen. It's like watching The Office over and over again.
You know what's happening,
It
but
doesn't
it
matter.
just-
You know we're going to laugh.
It just gets you.
Doesn't matter.
It just gets you. So I mean,
I
yes,
just
it is.
baptized her,
Yeah, exactly. And it's hilarious. A lot of colorful language and some things a lot of people probably don't love or agree with. But if you just kind of go in and watch, and yeah, I mean, it's
Strictly entertainment.
It is entertainment and entertainment only. But one thing to keep in mind is what Jesus says: "I'm the way, the truth, and the life." Period. And that's it. One thing we know about God is He doesn't change. He doesn't decide to change His mind.
Same
and when He
as
says something is done,
day.
it is done. He's not going to say, you know what? Maybe you convinced me. Maybe we'll do this instead.
I don't know that I was right in this situation. I'm going to believe the human. No.
Yeah.
It's
No.
not ever going to
That's
change.
not at all who he is. So what we see with Ruby Franke and Jodi Hildebrandt, 8 Passengers was her YouTube channel.
Yes. 8 passengers
And
is what it started out as.
it gained a whole lot of momentum. It got huge. I mean, they were making a ton of money off of
Tons
it.
of money.
Her husband initially was not on board, but once those checks rolled in, he really got on board. And because he was a teacher, I think at BYU, he was a
Yes.
professor. and they went all in on the YouTube thing, and
she did.
Well, yes,
but she also essentially pimped out her kids.
She did. The kids were known as employees. They got paid $10 per video, and you see the two oldest children, the oldest daughter and son. Initially, they thought it was cool.
At first, it was.
Then they hated it.
But then the oldest daughter said it started. Our lives had to revolve around filming.
Yes, and you see the one video with the son, and he's just not in a good mood, and she's talking to him. You need to do this. Make sure you do this. Turns the camera on, smiles, and turns it off again. And like, you need to pretend you're happy. And he's like,
fake
I just don't. Yeah, fake it. All for videos and all for the likes, the comments.
Because the son got more views every time he was on.
He was the popular one.
He was the popular one because he was a cute kid.
Yeah,
and
he did
he was
cool things.
Like a preteen, teenage boy. All the girls liked him, so of course that's going to increase your views. But when they got to the point where we're just tired of doing this, we don't want to do this anymore, it didn't matter.
No, and the thought was, and this is where Jodi Hildebrandt comes into play, was, hey, he needs therapy.
Yes, because he is defiant from doing what I say. You are wrong, and there's something wrong with you. You have to talk to somebody.
Yes, and so Jodi Hildebrandt comes in, and she was recommended through the church, their church.
Highly recommended.
Highly recommended, and she was, we will say, a licensed therapist and counselor, and seemed to be very good at what she did. And I don't know what happened in her previous life before all this. We know that she was married, know she had children. What we do know is that marriage ended. She's estranged from her children, has nothing to do with her children anymore. You can't really find any information as far as what happened there, but I'm sure it was probably a negative story, and that's kind of where I went with. I think maybe her intentions initially were good, was counseling and help people and help people with their marriages. But something happened in hers. And I feel like a switch flipped, and it's time to burn everyone else to the ground because of the pain that I felt.
I'm going to let everybody else in on that because that's exactly what she did.
Oh, totally what she did.
Because the thing that she had was called ConneXions. And
spelled with an X. Very clever.
So if you were having some kind of marriage issues or anything, so the Mormon believe that you're not allowed to masturbate.
Correct.
You can't lust after, you can't think of anything. Okay, so Ruby and her husband, his name is slipping my mind right now. Kevin?
I couldn't tell you.
Maybe.
Chris, Craig, Kevin.
Sure.
Could be any of
them. So
them.
her husband, you'd think as many of the documentaries that I've seen on them, I would know. Now you're churching it up.
I am. I'm going to look it up here.
Am I right?
I'll tell you when I get there.
So.
Kevin. It was Kevin.
Look at there.
That. Good job.
Just embedded in my brain with all those docs. But, okay, so they started Connection. I don't know that they necessarily had issues.
There was some.
It was just there was
some struggle, as marriages can have the distance, and you just don't seem to be on the same page, and seem like you can't get it together. And it kind of started with the son was going through therapy, which the son initially was like, "Okay, this is great.
She's good for me." Blah blah blah.
So
I think he was honestly, he believed it because by going to Jodi, he got other privileges.
Correct.
And so he continued to just believe everything.
When they got into the ConneXions
as a couple,
ultimately it was because the channel had slipped. She had posted something that people didn't agree with, and it was really about how horribly she was treating her children, and she essentially doubled down on it. So all the deals gone, everything gone
because she took her son's bed away from him.
For 7 months, he slept on a beanbag
in somebody's room
in the downstairs area, and that huge. Which I agree, red flag. That's like what are we talking about?
That's not okay.
What are
But
we talking
not
about?
let's not forget that her 6-year-old daughter forgot her lunch, and her teacher called from the school and said, "Hey, she's left her lunch. Could you possibly please bring her something?" And Ruby was absolutely not.
No, she forgot her lunch. This is her punishment. She's not going to eat. Don't let anyone feed her.
Her lunch is her responsibility.
At 6 years old, which
At
is
6 years old,
crazy.
She was in kindergarten.
So this stuff gets out, and so the channel takes a dump, essentially.
People were not happy, and
Nope,
so
and they're losing all their sponsors. They went from making, what was it, $150,000 a month to...
No, that was like their minimum.
Yes, but let's just say $150,000 a month to next to nothing. So they were scrambling. So they got involved with this ConneXions deal. And I mean, I could see where, hey, you're here, and now you're way down here. I see where that puts strain on a marriage. It would with any relationship. So they go here for help. And I can remember watching it, and I made the comments. It's all of these women. And it is like a man-bashing
That is all it was.
sessions.
Yeah.
And they're clapping and they're cheering and hooting and hollering just about how awful men are, which men can be dumb. And I don't want to discount the relationships where men are awful. It happens, but this is no way to heal it.
No.
And I can remember shortly after that, the husband went.
Well, you
and
asked, where are all the men? I said, hold on, we're getting there. Because
No,
I'd already watched it, and I had to make you watch
It
this.
gets there. So, and he even tells his wife, like, it's crazy. Like, I don't have a good feeling about this. This is crazy. But she was all in.
Yes. She instantly became obsessed with Jodi. Well, when Jodi found out that they were 8 passengers, Jodi just put them on a pedestal.
Latched on.
Immediately. Because that was, well, if they're coming here and they do something about ConneXions on their stuff, on their YouTube page, that means more people are going to see us.
Yes. Which we eventually learned that Jodi Hildebrandt had a way for that because her license was taken away. Even prior to this, but nobody knew. And the LDS Church was still recommending her.
Oh, they knew.
Oh, well, but
LDS,
it was just
the people
sweep it under the rug.
They knew.
Let's not
Yeah.
worry about this. So you see them in these marriage counseling, we'll say,
But Jodi was over each individual session.
over every session.
As in, when the men, they had the breakouts, the men would circle up. Jodi was
Led.
over it.
She led it.
She went on to make every single one of them believe there was something wrong with them.
Yes.
You looked at a woman today, that's lust.
Yes. And
If you touched yourself today, that's masturbation.
well, and she convinced Ruby Franke and all these other women to withhold sex. And it was like punishment, like, you thought about a woman today, or you thought even lustfully after your wife. Tell the wives, okay, 3 more months he has to sleep in a separate bedroom. And they're just, oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense. We'll absolutely do that.
It was mind-boggling that the men is what mind-boggled me, that they didn't question anything that their wives told them.
No.
Because that is not what we see truly happens with the LDS.
No, usually
men
it's...
are everything. Men are the head of household. They're the priesthood, and the women are not listening to their priesthood. The women literally took over all of these poor men's lives.
They did, and I think
The
some
majority
of,
of them that got out of connection, knowing something was not right, had to go to another therapist to fix it.
Yes.
The others are divorced.
Yes, almost all of them were divorced, and
It
it
was
couldn't
so
be saved.
sad.
And I think some of the men were probably like, yeah, I'll do whatever it takes to save it. This is what my wife wants or needs. Sure, but eventually, over time, it's like this isn't helpful at all.
I mean, the Bible even says you can sustain from it, but you better come back to it.
Well, it says the only reason you should withhold sex is to go to prayer, both of you, and don't do that for too long because you need to come back to it.
Because if you don't come back to it, you're going to try to get with somebody else.
Absolutely.
To fill that need.
Absolutely, you are.
But for some reason, Jodi brainwashed Ruby.
Big time, because here's what happened. They were in the ConneXions, and both her and her husband were brainwashed, as are all these other people. But they go back to Jodi's house, which is an unbelievable house.
It does not make sense how she
But anyways, neither
paid
here nor
for
there.
that. But now it makes sense.
She's meeting with their leaders, we'll say, and she's talking about these demons that are after her. And I said it sounds like she's mentioning she watched Harry Potter and it's the Dementors.
The Dementors.
That's how she was explaining them.
That's exactly how it was.
There's these dark spirits flying around, and I was like, that's the Dementors. To eventually, they move, Ruby and Kevin Franke move her into their house.
Yes. So Jodi has this massive, massive house in Utah, and it's kind of weird. I guess have I been to Utah?
No.
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, it's near New Mexico. You've been to New Mexico.
Flying over it.
It's
but
deserty.
Yes, it's like the neighborhood itself is not necessarily a neighborhood. It's a road.
It's
and
roads
houses,
and it looks a neighborhood, but there's no trees.
Desert.
It's desert. It's kind of in a canyon.
It's clay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And it's a
it's
cool place.
Beautiful. It's just red everywhere. Well, you look at these houses and they're just like a garden house on a foundation. There's nothing built up. But we learn later that there are 3 different levels below ground.
Big time bunkers.
Who knew for someone to have spread all this joy out in the world that she was a doomsday prepper hoarder?
She was, and we'll get to that in those bunkers momentarily. But so they move her into the house, and first off, you don't move your therapist into your house.
That's just wrong. No, and their son is still seeing her.
Yes, you don't move the therapist into the house.
Note to self: anybody that's going through any type of marriage counseling,
don't move your therapist into your house. It's a bad move. If they want to move into your house, it's a bad move. Time to find a new therapist. So that goes on for a little while, and Jodi's just not able to get through this. Somehow, she convinces the family that Ruby needs to stay in the room with her and start sleeping in the same bed as her.
Because if Ruby's around, then the Dementors are not there. She can protect them.
For months, she sleeps with Jodi
while her husband's sleeping in their bed.
Exactly.
Tell me how that looks.
To the point where, all right, eventually they go on a women's retreat for ConneXions. All the women go on and come back. And as soon as they get back, husband's happy to see his wife. He's missed her. She immediately says, we need to talk, says, you have to leave. Jodi said, blah, 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 you're doing this and this. You and our son, y'all have to go.
She kicked her 17-year-old son out.
And her husband out.
And told them that they could not even have communication.
No communication.
With each other or anyone else in the family.
No. Oh, and whenever Jodi Hildebrandt moved in, she kicked her daughter out of her bedroom because that's where Jodi's going to live.
She still had 2 weeks at home.
Granted, she was moving off to college. But still.
So she kicked her husband and son out, told her husband there could be 0 communication for a year.
Nothing. Not seeing her, the kids, no phone calls, FaceTimes, nothing. And again, he goes along with it. I think
questions nothing.
I think part of it is I'll do whatever it takes. But the other major part of it is Jodi has completely brainwashed all of this. And that leads us to the child abuse.
Yep. Jodi. But here's the other thing that I said from the end of the last episode, all those names that I listed. Jodi, Ruby, Lori, Vallows, Daybell. My gosh, what's the other one? The last one, she drowned her children.
Yes. Don't know.
Words are not leaving my mouth the way that I want them to right now. But all of them have, besides being LDS.
Andrea Yates?
Yes.
Yep.
Andrea Yates. All of them, besides having LDS in common, they have one more thing in common.
What's that?
They all read one book.
What was that book?
Visions of Glory.
Visions of Glory. That's right. Visions
I'm dying
of
to
Glory.
get my hands on this. I think you looked it up on.
Yeah, I did.
I think you could buy it on Amazon.
Yep.
But apparently in this book,
it says it's one man's astonishing account of the last days.
Yeah. And it's about Dementors. I mean, I guess they're possessing people.
That's the thought.
And every single one of these women, except Jodi and Ruby, because it was caught before it was too late, have killed their children.
Because they feel that they're demon possessed. Now, I will say this. Are there demonic spirits that... Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's currently still happening.
Yeah.
But when I look at how Jesus cast out spirits, none of us are him. We're not even close to it. But even the disciples were able to. And that same power dwells within us. And, if we really had that much faith, amazing things can happen. And they do. But I never saw Jesus go to the extremes, or his disciples go to the extremes that these people are going to cast out the demons. And that's where this really takes a dark turn.
Because Jodi and Ruby, so they kick out, the oldest daughter is at college. They kicked out the son. So now there are 4 kids left. The 2 middle girls that are teenagers and the 2 youngest that are a boy and a girl. Somehow Ruby and Jodi leave the house where they were with the husband, that house, and go back to Jodi's house, which is an hour or so away.
It's like 3 or 4 hours west. It's like 250 miles.
Okay. So, it makes me mad just thinking about all the things that they get to this house. Now, this house has the 3 layers below it, and it is all underground. And it is immaculate. They are now doing all of their YouTube stuff
for ConneXions
together
at that house.
Now, we live in the same house. Our podcast is done in our basement. You are sitting there, and I am sitting here.
Yes. Listen, they were on this big old couch, and they were touching. Legs were touching.
Hand
constantly
on
holding
knee
a hand
or
on knee. Yes, constantly.
Now, I like touching you.
Yep.
But when I'm having a conversation and we're talking and we're doing deep dives into stuff like this,
yeah,
I need to be looking at you. I hardly turn and look at any of these cameras
I
because I'm talking to you. I've even said that when the thoughts of us doing the podcast, I don't want to just look at the camera the whole time. I'm not the one. I am not a selfie girl. I don't have an endless roll of selfies that I've taken that I'm putting online or sending to you or whatever. You'll not find me on my camera phone or the photos at all.
No, but they were
dead on to the cameras. They are feeding to the camera the entire time. They turn and look while one was talking to the camera. The other would be like this and then look back. It was as if they were on the news.
Yes, and I get the need for that. There are times where you need to look into the camera and talk into the camera. But
I'm not doing the news. I'm not. Sorry, I am not going to always look in the camera to give somebody a
But they were just entirely too close, holding hands. Clearly and the thought is, okay, well, where's the bloody kids? Where are the children in all this?
I don't remember the exact day, but the
youngest boy,
I think the kids were 11 and 9.
Something like that.
Maybe 10.
Mm-hmm.
Roughly the age of our kids. Escaped.
The
Jodi's
boy escaped
house.
Jodi's house one day.
Rang the doorbell of a neighbor. It was an older couple. And he asked if he could have a favor. And the man that answered the door says, "What? All right, let me hear it." And he goes, "Could you take me to the police department?" And he's like, "Well, why don't you just have a seat right here and let's talk about it?"
There's something wrong because he's extremely skinny, malnourished.
And then when the kid sits down, he calls 911 because he notices the kid, besides being extremely malnourished, around his wrist and his ankles are saran wrap and duct tape.
Yes. Where they had been.
The call that this guy made.
I mean, he starts bawling his eyes out because he's terrified for the poor kid. And then he says, "My sister's still there."
Yeah.
And so luckily,
So the couple, they're just all up in arms about this, right? When the ambulance and the police get there, there's even a first responder who she was looking at all of the stuff on him and had to walk away because she was crying.
because it's so horrifying.
You just don't think about things like that. So when they find out, they get him in the ambulance and take care of him. The police decide, okay, well, if the other child, he has not seen his sister in a month.
That's what we learned. Has not. So the police, they go straight to the house.
Jodi is there.
And she's there on the phone. So they bang on
She
the door.
is on the phone with
Sheriff's
her.
Department's not banging on the door. She opens the door immediately. I'm on the phone with my attorney. And I love the police officer says, "That's great. Step outside." Well, I'm on and he just grabs her, pulls
He's
her
like,
outside.
"Get out."
And they start going through the house.
They have like full on SWAT trying to find this child.
Mm-hmm. And they go through the house. They can't find. And there's a safe in one of the bunker areas. And there's a safe, and they go ask Jodi, and she's like, I don't know anything about it. And
I've never used it.
Never used it, don't know anything about it. I
I'd
don't
have
know
to
the code.
call and get the code.
So they're like waiting for a locksmith to come out, and one of the officers just like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, boom, opens. And he walks away like, holy.
I cannot believe that.
I cannot believe that worked. And, yeah.
They found which should probably have been a panic room.
It was a panic room. It had a bedroom, bathroom, closets.
Everything that they were doing to those children.
Cayenne pepper and honey to put on the wounds that they had.
Because they were tying them up with rope. These poor babies had rope burn on them.
They found the little girl in a closet. She would not move. It took them like an hour to get her out.
Terrified.
Shaved her head.
They shaved her head.
Yes.
Jodi and Ruby.
Had shaved her head. And the whole idea, because they went back days later and just searched the whole house, and they found Ruby Franke had written journals about this, a diary.
And that's a big LDS thing
and it was
that you have to...
Demons.
Yes.
Demons. They're demon possessed. Had them outside all day long in the hot sun.
Making them move boulders.
Making them move rocks, just rocked back like prison type work.
Yeah.
To get the demons out. And it was extreme levels, and even said, we'll do anything, even if they have to die, to get the demons out. Completely brainwashed. And the sad thing is, we learned through one of the other documentaries, the reason the little boy said, will you take me to the police station, wasn't so I can get help. It was because they had told him he needs to be in jail. Because of how bad, because he's demon possessed. He has to go to jail. They're going to take him to prison. He even tried to escape one night, and they found him.
Yes.
Because he was trying to go to jail, because that's where he believed he was supposed to be.
That's all he was ever told.
None of that, nothing about that's okay.
No.
Now,
kids are going to be kids.
Kids are going to be kids, and do kids need to be corrected? Absolutely.
But there's a right way to do it.
And this is never a right way.
No.
And the level of which they went to rid them of the demons. Like I said, you never see Jesus or his disciples try to do anything to this extreme.
Jesus don't pull out a whip and hold somebody down and beat them. Get out, demon.
It doesn't work that way.
No.
And anytime there's any harm being brought to someone else, you have to be able to check yourself and be like, wait a second. And to be able to go along with it. And then, that we learned that, the husband's notified. She finally calls her husband about this.
And he is so excited that she's calling.
My wife's calling. Finally, all of this. He hasn't seen him in, 3 years?
No, it was over a year.
Was it just over a year?
Over a year.
And he has no clue what's happening.
When he finds out about the kids.
He's in denial. He's like, no, that's not. No, there's no way. No way. But then he learns, and he's cannot believe it.
He's crying.
Yeah.
At first, it took him to going back to the house. His son said that he was not trying. He didn't want to get in trouble, but he didn't know where else to turn because Jodi and his mom were in jail.
Yep.
So he sent a message to his dad. Had not talked to them in over a year.
Nope. Had no
Poor
communication
kid was
with him.
17 years old when she did that to him.
Nope. Just completely cut him off. So, that level of just brainwashing, essentially. And I don't
Even
think...
their neighbors were saying, this poor guy was brainwashed.
Yeah. And it took him going to the house, and his neighbor that they were close to had a 6-hour conversation.
Of all the things that they witnessed.
He and his neighbor both said it was in that moment it it was like, oh my God.
I come out of this
He
fog.
woke up from it and was like, what have I done? What happened? And it's so sad to see that just the level of brainwashing that happened to do awful, terrible things to so many people. And I don't think Jodi Hildebrandt's idea of counseling in the beginning was for this, but something clearly happened.
But she did do the same thing to her niece.
Yes, she did. So I think over
I don't
time,
know that it ever was not her.
I like to believe the good in people.
You're better than me.
And I would like to think that something happened, and this was her way of, I will make sure levels of hurt that happened to me doesn't happen to anyone else. And the only way I'm going to do that is through essentially torture, to scare the life out of people. And you see the result of it.
Scare the life out of people.
That's what she did. Scared the life out of these children. Her niece, and who knows how many other children.
Right. We just know of the 3.
That's all.
And none of these children were hers.
No.
So ridiculous.
It's
But
wild.
Once they're arrested, and I think a couple years go by, and they both pleaded guilty so they could get a plea deal.
Mm-hmm.
In the state of Utah, I think the max time that you could spend in jail for child abuse it
was 30 years.
30 years. I hope they get every single.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
no early, because the moment they get out.
I think they're up for parole in December 2026. So, ultimately, it's just a horrible thing. And it's...
Because the moment they get out, especially Jodi, because even at the end of the documentary, she's already said that this happened because I had a dream
that
I was being... This all happened to me because I was going to go out and spread the good news.
The good news.
Her
level
audience.
of teachings to a different audience is essentially what she said. And I mean, one thing you got to know about Jesus, and when you take these religious ideals and you bend them to shape them
the way you want,
things go bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing about the Bible is it doesn't conform to us; we conform to it. And sure, there are things in there that may make you feel some type of way. And you're like, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't love that very much. But you know what? I submit to the authority of the Word of God because it's true. It is all loving.
Well, like right now, I'm doing the chronological Bible this year, and I'm currently in Job. And all you hear about Job is, God, pray for the patience of Job. And I'm back in Job, and I'm thinking, God, why do people say that they wish they had the patience of Job? Because all he did was talk horrible about Jesus I'm on like chapter 30 right now. And it's like, dude, the first 5-6 chapters, your life was great. And then the devil just asks if he could this guy loves you so much. Let me take everything away from him and see if he still loves you.
Yeah. And God's like, okay, I will. And again, Job goes through awful things, and he's blaming God.
He blames God.
I wouldn't say blame. He doesn't, but he's like,
why?
He does. He's like, why?
Why did you do this?
He's just asking the question.
You did this to me.
Why? Why did this happen? Why did you take all this away from me? It would have been better if I wasn't even born.
Mm-hmm.
But then we go and see, well, God restored everything tenfold.
Yes.
As he does.
But even in situations like that, I could not imagine asking God why.
I've come to the conclusion and
I get mad at things that don't work out my way or the way we think. Like when we thought, okay, our business is going to Boston. Mm-hmm. It was like, this is meant to be because we love Boston.
Right.
Absolutely. This is us. And then it actually came down between us and another company. And it went to the other company. And we were, what?
Couldn't believe it.
Not questioning why, but we were mad. We were mad because God we felt like that was supposed to be given to us.
Yeah, and I've learned that I don't deserve to know why.
No.
It's nothing to me to know why.
You might one day find out, and you might not.
And we can look at these things and ask why. And then the question is how can a good God let these things happen? Well, it's because of free will.
Yes.
We have the choices to make And he's given us that opportunity to just make the choices of what we're going to do. He doesn't cause all things, but he can use all things. And the only hope would be how horrific this situation is and potentially others. Lord, somehow use this so it doesn't hurt so many other people.
Yeah.
So something to kind of learn from that. And, the biggest thing is, when we talk about child abuse, it's never okay to abuse anyone, whether it's physically, verbally, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It's not okay.
No. Words matter. They
Words
really
matter.
do.
What we say matters. How we treat people
how we say
matters.
them matter too.
It does. And the
And
hope
if you
is,
know of anybody, especially children, that are being abused in any way, or anybody essentially being abused in those ways, because domestic violence is a thing.
it most certainly is. And
Please, that's not something that should be taken lightly.
no. And if that is you, or you know someone, or you say something, make it known. Call the United States Child Help National Abuse Hotline. It's 1-800-4A-CHILD. 1-800-422-4453. Say something to prevent it from happening.
Mm-hmm. Don't be afraid to, because you might think you're betraying somebody's trust.
No.
It is better to be safe than sorry.
It is, and it's better to say something. Typically, if you
Because
think something's
even
going
on that
on.
documentary, the neighbors said, I should have lied. I should have told them there was abuse.
Yes,
But I
because the
did not
police tried to go to the
physically-
house, but they're like, I never actually saw it. And one of the neighbors, she said,
She's just in tears because she said, I never physically saw them hurt them with my own eyes, but you could see what it was happening.
yeah, she said, I wish I would have lied.
Yeah.
And no one wants to be in that situation. So,
It's always easier to ask forgiveness than permission.
yep. So do that. But just a horrific story and just something to learn. And, anyone who has questions about it, maybe wonders about the beliefs and the differing beliefs, we're always open for conversation.
Absolutely.
So we wouldn't hesitate at all. Do you have any final thoughts before we go?
I hope people have enjoyed the documentary
Oh,
rush
absolutely.
that I have been on.
Absolutely. Who knows what else is to come, but I'm excited for what the future holds for it. We will get out of here. Before we do, our dear friend Sanchez Tannehill, God Did It Ministries.
Yes.
He's incredible. His life story is unbelievable.
We've
to the point
known
where
him since
school.
school.
Since grade school. But anyways, he has a short film coming out that's about his life that, who knows, this could turn into a major feature film. The trailer is officially out as of today, February 6th of 2026.
He sent it to me today. I was so excited.
Take just a moment, and at the end, whenever we're done here in just a minute, we are going to play that trailer for all of you on YouTube. If you're just listening, go to our YouTube at the Married AF Podcast and watch the trailer. I'd love for you to listen to the whole thing and watch the whole thing, but if not, skip to the end and watch the trailer. To learn more about it, we'll put a link to it as well. But it's incredible.
God Did It Ministries.
God Did It Ministries. Sanchez Tannehill, his story is awesome, and we want as many people as possible to see it because it's encouraging. And again, it just shows the power of God.
Absolutely does.
God can do it. The whole mission behind it. So make sure you check that out.
Yes.
God, we love you. We are so thankful for who you are, for what you do. God, thank you for just loving us and taking care of us. And we want to pray over really this podcast and this episode specifically that it'll speak to people. If anyone is going through anything close to this, whether it's child abuse or marriage issues or maybe just difficulty in kind of understanding why things are, God, I pray they look to you. And that they'll open your word, your living, breathing word. Don't take anything that we say, but read for themselves of just the character of who you are, that you are love. You're all merciful, all graceful. And we're just so incredibly thankful for that. And if we can be a conduit, if we can be a way for people to locate you and find you and learn who you are, that's all we want. And we're just so thankful for it. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Play ball.
Don't wake up your brother.
Sanchez has somehow contracted spinal meningitis
Due to the severity of the stroke, it's highly unlikely he'll ever walk, speak, or see.
While I respect your opinion, Doctor, you don't know the power of my Jesus.
I'm not asking him to start. Just let him practice. Deontay's been working with him, so it'll do him some good.
If he gets hurt, this better not blow up in my face.
It won't.
Yes.
I think I'm supposed to be in here.
Okay, then. Come on in and find a seat. He's our $1 million baby.